Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having a great start to your Tuesday and a great start to your overall week. So thank you guys again for tuning in. This video is kind of like when I break down the top stocks that I see value in this specific week. I want to make sure that you guys know how we do things within our trading channel. First of all, we are the largest YouTube channel for those who invest in the stock market. We have a little bit over 376,000 subscribers on our TechBot Solutions YouTube channel. We also do run the largest private trading community on Facebook. We have a little bit over 160,000 members. It's a free Facebook group. We offer a free Discord chat. That's that third link in the description. I want to make sure that you understand that every single stock that we talk about today in no way is any call out or suggestion. We have 3 rules within our group that has led us to become one of the largest trading communities. Never invest based on other people's opinion. If you don't understand why you're taking that position, one of the best things that you can do is not invest in, positions in which you do not understand the risk of. The second thing is never invest in what you don't understand. Always have a plan when investing, and always make sure that you understand what it is that you're getting yourself into. So make sure that you have like this exit strategy, right? So always manage risk. And I know this is very repetitive. We came up with that Learn, Plan, Profit criteria checklist. So for all those that submitted your email, it's sent out to you, I believe, at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every single night. So I hope that you guys are enjoying that checklist, have a better understanding of the set criteria that I specifically like to wait for. But what this specific video is going to be, I'm just going to be talking about the top stocks that I see value in that are trending up this week. I'm going to be talking about 10, but it's honestly going to be, congrats on what? Okay, I appreciate the $2. I'll be sure to add guac to my Chipotle. But what I wanted to talk about today is there's a couple stocks that were showing signs of an uptrend, and as of today, the overall market has been playing out pretty well, right? So there's some stocks that we talked about last week. I talked about 6 stocks that were selling off very aggressively. They're huge Fortune 500 companies, and fortunately, they're showing signs of recovery. So I am watching them closely, but just as quick as they're trying to recover, they could pull back just as quick as well. So I'm going to be talking about those on top of the 10. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video. I hope that you guys enjoy, and that's really just it. So again, let's go and do it. Let's see. All right, so the first one that I wanted to talk about, and this is ticker symbol TQQ, right, or Q, right? So it was showing signs of an overall ascending uptrend pattern. It's up over 8% on the day. If you're part of the Learn, Plan, Profit group, this is one that we were watching just due to its performance during pre-market hours. Had a really nice push up, sold off, bounce off the SMA line, push right back up. It really started to consolidate right around that 58.50 price point, and then it just has been riding this top VWAP all day long, right? It's not necessarily like, I don't usually trade stocks or ETFs themselves that are this aggressively pushing up, but I've noticed that a lot of people within our trading community have been able to take advantage of the solid push up. I just want to remind you guys that, okay, on the 180-day analysis, yes, it does have a lot of margin for to recover. The inverse of ticker symbol TQQQ is SQQQ, right? And as aggressive as it pushed up today, because today was one of its first confirmations of it breaking above the EMA line, as aggressive as it pushed up today, what usually happens, right? There's a pullback confirmation. At least that's what I specifically like to wait for, and that's again in that criteria checklist. So it pushed up, that's great, it's green, right? I would lock in profits as much as quick as it pushed up. It could pull right back down, and again, you just have to take into consideration the MACD, the RSI, asking yourself, is it still a good deal, and how is it going to progressively shoot up, right? Is this a stock that is just going to shoot straight up to $68, or is it something that's going to progressively upward staircase to that specific price point? Like, just make sense of the trade, right? The overall margin, so if it ends up pulling back down to that around that $58 price point, to the overall SMA line, right around 67.31, we could see that there's overall about a little bit over 16% margin of profit. That's why I'm talking about this one. I mean, today was the first day of confirmation of it showing signs of a continuous uptrend. I find that to be pretty attractive, but I will only invest in it if it pulls back, confirms that it's going to make higher lows, and then continue to upward staircase and make higher highs as well. So something that we'll have to follow up with today. Let's go ahead and move on over to SBUX. SBUX is Starbucks multi-billion-dollar, espresso company or coffee company. But you can see that it was getting rejected by this SMA line. All of a sudden, it started to show signs of a reversal, really starting to make higher highs. Last time it got rejected right around $58. The only reason that I'm talking about this one is because it's still currently actively trending up. I feel like sometimes we try to focus too much on stocks that are, only showing signs of a potential reversal, and we have to wait for the confirmation. I wanted to present something that is already, actively trending up. It can make higher highs. But it's a little bit more on the overbought side in my honest opinion. Look how overextended the MACD is. Look how overextended the RSI is. But one thing that I would do is I would wait for a pullback, see if it bounces around this $57 price point, and then pushes right back up again. Again, a lot of you guys have a goal of about 1 to 3%. How amazing would that be to be able to capitalize and make that profit on something that moves at a much slower rate, right? Something like Starbucks, a much larger corporation, and to still be able to make sense of your trade, right? So that's why I'm talking about it. I think that it's a little bit more on the overbought side. I would wait for a pullback, and that's why you see my little alert when it pulls back down to this EMA line, as it's done multiple times before, and see if we could sell and lock in profits as it approaches that $58 price point. The next one is PayPal. PayPal sold off pretty aggressively. It has been, again, the 3 stages of a reversal: rejection, consolidation. Watch out for the earnings, right? And it's showing signs of a potential confirmation. But what is something that we need for a confirmation? Push up, pull back, push up, make higher highs, pull back as well. This upward staircase pattern. And that's essentially what I'm waiting for when it comes down to PayPal. I just wanted to talk about it as it's kind of like a stock that I'm watching as of now. But if it continues to make higher highs and it progressively, just like as it sold off, it progressively made, lower lows and it made lower highs as well. The same thing, but as it pushes up. So, being able to capitalize on all this margin that it has to push up, in my honest opinion, a little bit over 10% on a multi-billion-dollar, online payment method doesn't seem too bad, right? Again, it's a much larger company. It doesn't move as aggressive. I would really not hold this during earnings. Just something that I've talked about before. If you're part of Learn Plan Profit, or I also have a video on it on YouTube that you're more than welcome to check out. DNR is another one that has been showing signs of a potential consolidation right around this SMA line. So rejection, consolidation, showing signs of a potential reversal. That's why you see my alert here at $6 for when it starts to make higher highs, and its previous resistance right around $6.50 to around $6.80. So this overall margin of profit from around $6 to about $6.50 is almost 10%. That's personally something that I find to be attractive. I like the overall ascending uptrend pattern on the 1 day, 1 minute chart. One thing that you guys can become a little bit more familiar with is its overall direction and its shift of change, right? When it was getting rejected by the SMA line, and now that the SMA line is acting as a support, it's showing more signs of, this upward staircase pattern. And that's something that I personally find to be pretty attractive. Same pattern with WTI. If you look at this on the 180-day chart, again, as a really good pattern in which, it pushes up, becomes overextended, sells off, bounces right around the SMA line, and then starts to show signs of a recovery. You can see that it broke above the EMA line, is now starting to make higher highs. Will it hold? That's exactly something that, you should be asking yourself, and let it confirm its direction, right? So I'm going to set a couple alerts here, and then its overall resistance, it becomes a little bit more on the overbought side as it pushes above $9. So just a friendly reminder. And then from $8 to $9, again, a little bit over 12% margin of profit. So I want to see, let's see. Yes, put all your money in Bitcoin. Okay, well, goodbye, bud. Sounds good. I'm sure that guy was saying that same thing when Bitcoin was at 19,000. But it's all good. Yeah, so feel free to share your guys' opinion about what it is that I'm, breaking down and stuff like that. So again, the reason that I find this to be attractive is the overall ascending uptrend pattern. I like that it normally bounces right around this SMA line, and then the potential reversal that it has to offer. The margin of profit is attractive to me. The pattern is attractive to me. I like how consistent it is, and it meets my set criteria. The only thing that I would also look out for is its earnings report. So feel free to look out for that. This is ticker symbol TNDM. TNDM has been, had a very consistent pattern of showing signs of an uptrend and then progressively sold off, right? Progressively sold off and then got rejected, really started to consolidate, and is now starting to show signs of a potential reversal. It's still trending below the SMA line. I just wanted to present it as something that is above the EMA line, still below the SMA line. As we've been noticing, a lot of the stocks that we've been watching, a lot of the stocks that sold off last week are showing this very similar pattern. It's very almost like this inconsistent pattern. If you don't feel comfortable trading it, don't trade it. I honestly don't know if I would take a swing trade position on anything like TNDM as of right now. It did an amazing job today, right? It did an amazing job pushing up. But look, this is all something that you can make capitalize on intraday on the one, as a day trade, right? So if you see something that is showing signs of a direction of it pushing up, great. And it's trading between the middle and top VWAP, great. And it continues to make higher highs, great. But there's no reason to have FOMO and to have to swing trade it, especially when it's been showing signs of it, potentially getting rejected. I think that's something very important that we need to share, that as of right now, it's trying to show signs of an uptrend, but just as much as it's going up to about $40, it could get rejected. So that's why, we have those rules where we always say lock in profits. And anytime that you see any indication of a resistance, that one of the best things that you can do is just lock in profits and walk away, right? Again, you're not trading for today, you're trading for the future. And it would be ideal to not discourage yourself to ever trade again. So TNDM, I think, falls under the very stereotypical current pattern of a lot of the stocks that we're seeing right now, such as Microsoft, Shopify, not really Shopify, but Twitter, Facebook. They're trying to show signs of recovery, but then they continue to sell off progressively. A little sketchy, right? A little inconsistent. So that's why I'm saying, if you see intraday opportunity as a day trade, great. It's showing signs of margin of profit and potential recovery. Great, take advantage of it. But is it worth the risk of holding? Just something that you want to ask yourself, right? So I just wanted to plant that seed and ask what you guys thought with that. Same thing with Costco. Again, progressive ascending uptrend pattern, very similar to TNDM, right? Also, it's trending above the EMA line, very similar to TNDM, right? But then now just like the SMA line used to act as an old support, it's going to act as a new resistance, just like with TNDM, right? So don't be afraid to lock in profits due to FOMO. Again, you could always get back in an extra maybe 1-2% that you can make during aftermarket hours or during to hold it overnight. It is not worth to discourage yourself to ever trade again if it ends up getting rejected, and then now you gave back all your profits and now you're in the red, and it's one of the worst feelings, right? So let's just make sure that we set our alerts. If we see intraday opportunity and the margin is there, right, great, let's take advantage of it, and let's just lock in profits, walk away, and call it a day. Get yourself extra guac, right, at Chipotle. GDDY. So this is one that was showing signs of a sell-off. This pattern has been a little bit more consistent. It did break below the SMA line, right? And then it started to show signs of an uptrend. I think it's a little bit on the overextended side. I think it's going to pull back before it continues to push up. But I wanted to talk about this because of its very consistent ascending uptrend pattern, which I personally found to be very attractive. It's my 2 cents. It's not something that you have to follow. I'm just going to set my alerts as this thing continues to progressively push up and see if it can cover, its overall resistance that it had right around $85. This is when it becomes a little bit more on the overbought side, so not so much of a good deal. And then its overall support can be anywhere getting closer to, let's say $80. So from 80 to about let's say 84, that's about 5%. So that's definitely not bad. So WTI just broke above its resistance again. So just broke above $8. So that's pretty solid there. This is actually one that I wanted to talk about today. It's ticker symbol LPX. It's one that was brought to our attention, I think, 2 Sunday Stock Talks ago. What do you guys think about this one? I want you guys to help me out with this one. So, I drew these resistance and support lines, right, on when it becomes a little bit more on the oversold side, becomes a little bit more on the overbought side. Very consistent horizontal pattern. Then all of a sudden, boom, gets rejected. What is it that you guys think about this? Ticker symbol LPX, right? It's still getting rejected. It's still below this EMA line, but look at all this margin that it now offers for a potential recovery. So it's in good deal range, but still not a good buy. I freaking love that because we've been trying to plant that seed and that phrase in everybody. How can something be a good deal but not be a good buy? Why? Raul, can you share with us why? We got Sanchit that just said it, right? No confirmation yet. What's going on, Will? Thank you again for tuning in. So exactly, its overall direction is showing signs of a downtrend pattern. So ask yourself this. If your sole goal is to invest in the stock market to grow your account, how is it that you're supposed to do that when there's no confirmation of an uptrend and the stocks that you're investing in are pointing down? If you want your account to point up, right, with growth, right, looking at it on an X and Y chart, and based on your initial balance and what you want to end at, let's say within 1 year, how is your account supposed to grow when there is no signs of an uptrend, right? So yes, it's in the good deal range. It's extremely oversold, right? It has a lot of margin for profit, for recovery, but there's no confirmation, there's no indication of a good buy. So all those people that bought here, look how much they're down, 15%. Put yourself in their shoes. That is why, we have all this margin to be patient and wait for the confirmation that this thing is going to progressively. So as this thing progressively, push down, This thing will progressively push up. And when it does, then that would make sense to take a position. Until then, maybe not the best investment. So, and then Lulu, right? Lulu's showing signs of an overall ascending uptrend pattern, right? I did break below. I keep saying right, and when I made that criteria checklist video, that was one of the funny comments that everybody liked, because I kept saying, like, I don't know why I kept saying it, but it was very annoying, right? And yeah, so overall, ticker symbol Lulu, so LULU, showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Overall, right now, the SMA line is acting as a resistance. So I would like to wait for the break above that. So the break above 150 with its overall underlying resistance right around 160, which is about 7% margin of profit. This is Lululemon, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what their overall market cap is or what their worth is, but I know it's a very expensive, like higher end type of, I want to say like jeans or like apparel, something like that. So I just know that I would never buy anything like that. So, but I would definitely buy the stock when the pattern starts showing signs of an uptrend. How about this? For all of our women investors, right? I know Lululemon is, I think, a brand directed to women. How cool would it be, right, to be able to make money off of Lululemon and then take those profits and then go to the store and buy yourself a nice little pair of the jeans or the whatever they're called. And yeah, I think it's so cool. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, I just thought that the margin of profit was worth it, and the overall pattern was very attractive. So Melissa, I like it. Kat, I like it. Okay. And for all my guys, right? What about like your significant other, your wife, right? I might be a nice little present and be like, look, I bought you some jeans when I invested in Lululemon, so I bought you some Lululemons. I think that's pretty cool. That's a very dingleberry thing for me to say, but I think it's cool. So as of right now, ticker symbol SHOP. Ticker symbol SHOP, we talked about this one, I think, on our Sunday Stock Talk. It broke above 138, started to push up. It's becoming very on the overbought side, so I think it's due for a pullback, but I really like the margin of profit. So if we look at it as a horizontal pattern, the high points of 160, the low points of 130, I think it's going to get rejected first at the SMA line before it continues to push up, but I at least wanted to plant that seed and present it to you guys and see what you guys thought. So also be sure to take into consideration the earnings report that it has on 10/25. So Gush is another one that has been showing signs of a potential reversal. I would approach this with a lot of like just precaution. The reason why is /CL. So although /CL is trying to show signs of a recovery, you could see it consolidating right around the SMA line. I would watch this very closely. If this begins to make higher highs, then we'll most likely see Gush begin to recover. But if we see it end up getting rejected, then you might want to pay attention to its inverse, which is ticker symbol DRIP, which is DRIP. Just wanted to present that. This is probably one of the most, out of all the stocks that I just talked about, this is probably is probably the most consistent stock that has been progressively moving up with its 180-day pattern, right? Ascending uptrend pattern, keeping true to its overall SMA line. Like, yes, sometimes it does fall below, but overall, it does a very good job showing signs of an uptrend pattern. And then its overall resistance right around $22 as of right now. You know, the margin of profit isn't huge, but it's still somewhat attractive. And that's something that I personally find very attractive. It's very consistent, it's progressively moving up, and it's showing signs of an uptrend. So real quick, DIGAS is showing signs of an uptrend. My order is about to get filled. Let's see where we're at. We're at $587 profit for the day. Let me move this around. I'm just going to sell with the market price. You know what we say? Lock it in. 1427.5. Again, I might have locked it in way too early. $569.46 profit on the day. So definitely not bad. Yesterday I made a little bit over $2,500. I didn't want to talk about my profits today, but if you guys want to see when I initially locked in profits and made a little bit over $500, I did a short little like 5-minute live stream on my Instagram. The link is down below. It says Ricky's Instagram. If you guys don't follow me already, I post very funny little skits like this. Yeah, feel free to check it out, and it's on my story. It's a live video. Again, I only have one Instagram account, so there's a bunch of fake accounts impersonating me, asking you to like invest in Bitcoin and all this stuff. Again, I never reach out to you first. I never ask for any personal information, so please make sure that you understand that. And I really just use my Instagram for like fun stuff and posting like dingleberry comments, and yeah, that's really just it. So okay, back to this. So CROX, it's been showing signs of an ascending uptrend pattern, especially on the day. I feel like it's very consistent. If I were a newer trader, just because it's showing already signs of it making higher highs. So it pushed up, pulled back. Do you guys see that? Pushed up, pulled back, pushed up, made higher highs, and it's showing signs of an uptrend. So I'd wait for another pullback. So let's set the alert on that, right? But I like how consistent CROX is, and I like the overall ascending uptrend pattern. It's something that I personally like. If you don't like it, all power to you. It's just, again, the margin of profit is there, the pattern is there, and the overall direction is there. So that's what I like about it. I didn't talk about DIGAS because I was obviously invested in it already. But one thing that I wanted to talk about is that DIGAS is the inverse of UGAS, which is natural gas, right? So /NG is very overbought. So I would just keep this on high alert that, understanding that natural gas is very overextended, very overbought, not such a good deal, and it would make sense on why it would pull back, right? So if this thing begins to really sell off, then that's in favor of DIGAS. So just wanted to plant that seed. And then the other stocks that I wanted to talk about very quickly, if I can get like 5 more minutes of your guys' time, is I talked about Shopify already, is how many of you guys are trading Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, and SQ? These huge multi-billion-dollar corporations that are showing signs. Facebook falls under that category. Twitter falls under that category. How many of you guys are trading that? How many hours do you work a day? Well, Rafael, if you're asking how many hours I trade a day, it's usually about 2 to 3 hours. But how many hours do I work a day? We work all day, but it's a lot of fun. Our whole Tech Buds team is here at our house. We have a bunch of activities that we do throughout the day, and it's just a fun environment. So I wouldn't necessarily call it work. Okay, all I want to talk about is for everyone that's trading all of these huge companies, right? A lot of them are still trending below their SMA indicator on the 180-day 4-hour chart. And then they have up and coming earnings reports. That's all I want to remind you guys of. They've been showing signs of a continuous descending pattern. They're showing signs of recovery. So if they become very close to that resistance and you see any hesitation of a resistance, right? With Microsoft trying to show signs of a recovery, but then it ends up getting rejected again. Don't be afraid to lock in profits. I want Microsoft to go up above the SMA line and continue this pattern of it making higher highs as badly as you do. But I need to make sure that I understand that as of right now, the market's not playing according to our favor. So the same thing with ticker symbol SQ. It's showing signs of it like being this good deal, showing signs of a recovery today. Don't let one green day excite you that the market's just back, and being consistent. It could have one green day, 2 green days, and it just takes one red day to give back all your profits that you worked so hard for, that you invested all this time to. Don't be afraid to lock in profits. That's all, right? Same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft is showing signs of a potential reversal. Amazon, again, this one was kind of sketchy when it showed signs of this aggressive sell-off. It's showing signs of a potential reversal. Let's be patient, let's lock in profits, and let's not be afraid to simply walk away and be, just give it a little bit more time to determine its direction. Again, direction and getting a good deal. That's what's important. Tesla as well. Tesla getting rejected multiple times by this SMA line. That's, again, just something that you want to remind yourself that as something pushes up so aggressively and the slight, 2 to 3% margin of profit left that it has to cover, don't kill yourself for 2 to 3% to not lock in profits. And then if you don't lock in profits today because you want to make that extra 2 to 3%, and then it ends up getting rejected back down to 250, and then you're like, oh my goodness, the market's always not in my favor. Again, understand its direction. It's down. It's descending, right? So as long as you make sense of, okay, it's overbought right now, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD, look at this overall pattern. It wouldn't be a bad idea to lock in profits. Yes, it can push up, but just as much as it could push up, it could go down. Again, I'm investing for the future, not for today. So I'm just going to lock in profits and move on. Focus on whatever else is actively trending up. Very simple. But yeah, how long have I been live for? About 30 minutes. Market's about to close in about 10 minutes. I hope I didn't take too much of your guys' time. You guys saw me lock in profits. I was going to make a video. I was going to make this video of my top 10 stocks later today, but I was supposed to make it last night, so I feel like I owed you anyways. Appreciate the support, Billy. Again, Billy, you're an absolute beast. Don't feel like you have to donate or anything like that. So one thing that I wanted one thing that I just wanted to remind you guys is like one of the best feelings is understanding what you're investing in. And if you're in a position right now where you're just getting started and you're getting lucky from time to time, that's great. But again, be real with yourself. This is not a market where you're going to get lucky for a long period of time. What is it called? The statistics are not in your favor. It's a 90 to 10 success rate, right? So 10 people, 10% like are successful in this market. What is it that you could do that most people don't? Be disciplined, be patient, be selective. Say more no than you do yes, and lock in profits. Again, you're investing for the future, not for today, especially if you're just getting started. All you should be focusing on is understanding what you're doing. Forget about the profits. Your first 3 to 5 months of trading, if you're truly trying to, understand what it is that you're doing, should not be so micro-focused in how much money you can make. It should be focused in understanding the basics, the general understanding to build your eye for value. Again, the key factor, just ask yourself this. Are you the same person that you were when you were 5 or 10 years old? When you were 5 or 10 years old, you were a small little mold of whoever raised you, right? And then as time went on, as you made mistakes, best practices, you learned from your experiences, you became your own person. You developed your own eye for value, for ethics, right? Same thing with trading. As you're just getting started, you're gonna become a mold of whoever it is that you're initially following. And that's why I always encourage you to yes, take bits and pieces from people that you admire and that their best practices in which you find effective. But then as time goes on, tweak it to something that's more effective for you. And then build your own style for investing. That's what's important. So I want to thank you guys again for your time. We absolutely have been killing it this week. I made a little bit over $500 profit today, as you guys saw. A little bit over $2,500 profit yesterday. I'm up over $3,000 profit on this week. That's my weekly goal. I could literally, if I didn't want to, take it off, right? But last week I didn't do too well. So I'm just gonna continue to try to be as selective as possible. I have, I think, a good amount of stocks that I want to focus on. I'm going to lock in profits every single day, say more no than I do yes, be extremely selective, and avoid anything in which I do not understand. As simple as that. Again, if you guys want to stay connected, all the links are down below. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, the link is down below. If you guys aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, feel free to do that. If you guys like these videos and want me to continue to make my top stocks for this week on a weekly basis, please give the video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it if you can. And if you would like, I talked a little bit about my Learn Plan Profit group that gets to watch me trade live every single day in the stock market as the market opens. So for about 45 minutes to an hour every single morning, I share my screen just like I did right now, but I'm actively entering and exiting positions and explaining my thought process. You get to ask me questions in real time. And if you've ever wanted to see what it would be like, again, get a taste of what it has to offer, click that first link and just learn more. Just dedicate today to learn a little bit more about it and see if it would be effective for you. So also, we do have our free trading community, and that's TechBot Solutions. That's that third link in the description. I want to thank you guys for everything it is that you guys do. Let's kill it this week. Let's keep it simple, and let's lock in those profits. Like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.